Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to make a corset with yoke. So as you can see, I already marked my lines, my center, my chest line, my bust line, my under bust, and my waistline. So right now I'm going to be adding my nipple to nipple point measurements, which is also called your bust span. My bust span is 8, so that divided by 2 is 4. So I'm just going to mark that on my bust line, under bust, and waistline. So guys, at this point I went down by 0.5 inch on my bust line and then ruled my 4 inch on my bust span. So on both sides of my under bust I'm going to be taking half inch on both sides, and also on my waist I'm taking half inch on both sides, and then I'll just rule the lines, the line between my bust and my waistline, my under bust and my waistline. Right now I'm using a marker to rule out the dot lines so that you can see them better. So I went ahead to use a curved ruler to curve out the line between my under bust and my bust line. So right now you are going to calculate the difference between your bust, your under bust, and your bust, which is 3. So if your bust is 10 and your under bust is 13, so 13 minus 10, which is 3. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to rule on my bust line. You are going to measure that 4 inch. You remember we didn't go up by 4 inch, we went down on our bust line by 0.5. So on that 4 inch that we didn't go by, you are going to measure your 3 inches around your bust line. So this is just going to guide us to get the cup, to get our bra cup or bust measurements, and know how to curve out your bra cup. It's just a guidance for you. If you've not checked out my other corset tutorial, check it out. I explained better why we are drawing out the circle. And then for those that messaged me and said that their bust span, their under bust is 14 and their bust is 10, and that the circle is going to reach the center of your pattern, it doesn't matter. It's just a guidance for you. So right now on my bust line I'm going to go out by half an inch and up by half an inch. This is going to help with how you cover out the corset. You know, when you're drafting a corset and the center piece, that center part that it's on the main piece for the center front of your pattern, yes, that's what we're trying to cover out now. So I'm going up by half an inch and down and sideways by half an inch. So coming to the armhole right now, I went down by half an inch and I'm just going to rule along those lines. So this is going to help us to draft the side front of our pattern and also curve out the cup better. I didn't use this method in my other video, so you can check it out if you don't really like this method. Although this method I think it's better than the last one in my first corset tutorial. So now I'm on my shoulder and I'm just going to, so you measure the center point of your shoulder and then mark that point and then rule that point down to your bust span point, which is what I just did, where your nipple to nipple measurement measurement stops. Yes, so the 4-inch, that's where you're going to rule down to your bust line. So that is what I did. So you're going to take, using that circle that you use as a guidance, you're going to take 1/2 inch on your center front and 0.75 on your side front. Here I made a mistake by taking 0.5 on my side front, but then I went ahead to correct it. So go 0.75 on your side front and 0.5 on your center front. Please don't forget that. So I'm just going to rule that line to my bust line. It's just going to help curve your cup. And then this cup is a 2-part cup. In my last video I made a 3-part cup. So if you want to do a 3-part cup, you can go and watch that video. It was very, very detailed. And then this one is a 2-part cup. So I'm just going to leave it this way as I've done my dart in between the cups. So I'm going to take a marker now to curve out the line so you can see it better. Make sure that you go back in and curve the lines because your cup cannot be straight. So what I'm doing right now, I went at those 2 dots, I went up by 0.5, and that's just going to help me in curving out my cup on the both sides of the cup. So I went ahead to use marker so that you can see that line better, and I'm coming in with my curved ruler on that point I measured, and then I'm just going to curve out that line to my armhole line, the new armhole line, and then I'm going to turn my curved ruler. So this new armhole line is a guidance for you. So from that point, you are just going to cover your ruler down to your under bust, the side front of your under bust. So as you can see, the cup is coming out looking good. It's coming out really well. So then I'm going to go on the other side, which is my center front, and then I'm just going to curve along that 0.5 line, 0.5 point I already made. So right now I'm going to be ruling a line curving out my cup from the center front of my dart line up to the 0.5 above my bust line, as you can see what I've just done now. So now I'm going to curve out the top part of the cup. Remember that this corset has a yoke. So I already labeled my cup already, the center front A and the side front B. So coming to the yoke now, we are going to rule along that 0.5 inch and 0.75 we measured on the center front and on the side front, so that the yoke can match with our cup, so that the yoke is not bigger than our cup, because our cup is going to be covering on that side. So I decided to add a basque to my corset. So here I didn't show you when I measured 2 inch. I measured 2 inch down and then curved out my line just freely. There's no technical way that I did it. So I just went down by 2 inch and then used my curved ruler as a guidance and then just curved out my lines. And then I went sideways by 4 inches to draw down my darts. So you're going to see that in a bit. As I said earlier, I went down by 4 inch, so I'm just ruling that line, the 4 inch down, and then I'm just going to connect the line down back to that 4 inch. So yes, this is how to add a basque to your corset. Very, very easy. Moving on to the back of the corset. So here I already lined my pattern. We have the center line, the bust line, the under bust, and the waist line. So right now we are going to be trying to cover out our neckline for the lower part of our pattern. You remember that we have a yoke, so we have the yoke and the lower part. So I'm going to mark that 0.5 inch on my armhole. So since the front part, our front corset has went down by 0.5 inch, we are going down by 0.5 inch on our back corset so that they match. I also talked about your corsets front and back matching in my last video, in my last corset tutorial video. I also showed another way you can also match your front and back corset, although this is a lot easier, or whichever one you prefer you could use. So I'm just going to rule down. I went down on my center back by 0.75 or 1 inch, whichever one you prefer. I also explained that in my last corset tutorial. You can curve out your back, you can just rule a straight line, however you want to go with your back corset, you are free to. So right now I just ruled down my line. I just wanted a simple V or the back, nothing fancy for the yoke of my corset. So I just ruled down, although I'm going to be altering the neckline of my corset. You'll see that in a bit. Right now I just went to measure my nipple to nipple line, which is my bust span on my pattern, so which is 4 inches, and I'm just going to take ½ inch on both sides. So right now I want to rule the 4 inch I already measured before going for the ½ inch. Yes, so that ½ inch I measured, I'm going to take it straight to my bust line. Yes, so I'm just going to rule the line straight to my waistline from my bust line. So right now we are going to be going by 1.5 inch on our center back. So I don't want the back of my corset to be closed. That's why I'm going in by 1.5. You can go in by 1 inch or ½ inch or 2 inches, whatever. Some people like to cut out from the darts and just have the side back alone. So right now, this is where, remember when I said that we are going to be altering the neckline that I created. So this is the point where we alter that. So I'm just going to rule the 1.5 inch that I already took out from my center back. And I'm going to be tracing that 1.5 inch to my shoulder line. So this is going to be the new neckline that is going to be created. So I decided to cut out the corset pieces to show you what it looks like cut out. So guys, this is going to be the end of this video. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed, please make sure to click on the subscribe button, and if you've not liked, click on the like button. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section down below, and I will definitely answer your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.